Good day, everybody, and welcome to episode 14 of the Rieg AD Wedding Show. We're now on day 67 of the South Africa lockdown. Or
for many people, it's day one.
Yeah, day one of level 3. We're still not allowed to walk down the wedding aisle, but today many of us walk down the liquor aisle, and we've got something to cheers on tonight.
Yeah, unfortunately the beaches still remain closed, so it's still limiting the amount of photo shoots and things that we can do. But we are honored today to have as our guest Harry from Synergy Audio, a very well respected DJ in our area. And Harry has got a long and distinguished career in sound and specifically sound reinforcement, so he'll be sharing all these tips and tricks to make life easy for something which I think some couples often overlook and maybe leave too late to book the right DJ. And before we get to Harry, we thought we'll share a little bit of insight on how we did
our own wedding.
Our own wedding, yeah.
Which was 20 years ago, might I say. We made 4 CDs.
Yep. Yes, one of them still, I don't know if it still plays, but we still got the CD.
It says Rieg AD
7 April
2000 CD4. Okay, this was now we preempted how the night was going to happen.
Yes, and what the vibe and the mood would be. Yeah.
It worked for us because we didn't have a dance wedding.
Yes.
We had more of a kuier wedding and made music and stuff like that. But we can definitely recommend a professional DJ when you have a wedding where you dance.
Yeah, I think in hindsight that's one of the things we could have done differently, because when you end up doing something like that, you're ending up putting that responsibility on a family member of a friend that's there to enjoy the wedding, and now you make them work to make sure that the music is always correct and the right song is playing and things like that. So our advice is and will always be to hire the professionals.
Yes.
Get the right people for the job, and the idea being that you as the bride and groom can actually sit back, relax, and enjoy your own wedding without having to worry that everyone is doing what they're supposed to be doing. That's the idea.
Yes.
And also the mood. I think a professional DJ is able to read the mood, which you can't do with a preset playlist. But
no,
like Adi said, it worked for us. And
it worked for us.
Yeah. We're not going to redo the wedding.
Interesting enough, the person we put in control of it, in charge of it, was Richard, who's now our brother-in-law, whose birthday it is today. Yeah. So a big shout out to Richard. It is his 41st birthday today.
Happy birthday,
Richard.
Happy
birthday.
Yeah. And can I add one thing?
Of course.
Today's been a great day. I actually won a prize.
Of course you can.
On YouTube. So
what was it?
A Hollyland MarsX HDMI transmitter. So something that I'll definitely be using on weddings, allowing me to stream video from one of my remote cameras to a phone to check it. So big shout out and thank you to Hollyland. I mean, that's an amazing prize, and it's an awesome day. Day one. So
we're going to celebrate it later with a bottle of champagne.
Well, thank you very much, and let's get Harry on the line and chat to him.
Harry, thank you so much for joining us on the Rieg AD Wedding Show. We're very, very honored to have you. You're presenting Synergy Audio. We've been privileged enough to be part of weddings where you and your team did all the audio and all the music. So, Harry, how did you get into to start with the audio industry?
Hi guys, thanks for having us. Good to see you. It's lovely to see familiar face, even though it's on a screen and not face to face. But thank you for the opportunity to be on the show. I think it's a great initiative that you're having. Look, as the Afrikaners say, there's many paplepel. This is something that goes back many years, probably to childhood and youth. Music has always been pivotal in the household where I grew up, in my personal life, as a part-time musician, and later a qualified sound engineer. It was always going to be music in some form or the other. And that is also my backdrop. I have another small company, a consulting company that is also audio, involved with audio, be it from a residential point of view, but it was always going to be music, playing music, making music, ensuring that music sounds the way it should do. And from the one thing led to the others. And, you know, if you're a sound guy, the weddings are bound to come looking around the corner as well. So I don't know if that sort of gives you the enough info about my background, but that's very much, you know, it's music oriented.
Harry, yeah, thanks, Emil. I think it's important for everyone to note that, you know, you didn't decide one Saturday you're going to start, you know, doing sound and sound reinforcement at a wedding. It's something that's come for many, many years. You've got a very long history in sound and sound reinforcement. So I think you bring a lot of experience to the table that a lot of other DJs or whatever you want to call someone playing on at a wedding can't necessarily bring with them. And I think that's important for clients to understand. I think our focus has always been hire the professionals and you get a professional service. And I think that's one of the things that you do. I mean, you guys are exceptionally professional in what you do. So I think on that point, maybe it's a good opportunity to tell prospective brides and grooms why it's important to get the right person to handle your sound, and specifically the sound reinforcement part when it comes to the speeches and the minister and those sort of things, because that's often overlooked, and I think it's left for the last moment. And then it's a family member who pitches up there with a big Bluetooth speaker and a phone, you know. So, and we all know there's a massive difference between the service you render and the family member with his phone and speaker.
A wannabe and a professional.
So I think elaborate on that for us if you don't mind.
Yeah, look, it's all well meant, and you know, people want to help brides and grooms, and they always say they have a friend that's prepared to play, and I think again, however well they mean it to be, my first question is that's great, but then you're still going to need assistance with reference to the equipment. You know, so I think in our industry, a wedding consists of two main parts. The first is the reception, which is the ceremony, which is the formal part, where the quality of the equipment is of essence. You know, the fact that everything, we've got one take at it, it needs to be smooth. We cannot afford to have dropouts. In other words, use the best possible microphones that you possibly can. Don't take any chances whatsoever. Quality of equipment is crucial. It's quite simple to do a ceremony, really. You know, you just have to play the required songs. You have to make sure that everything keeps on working and keeps on working right. And then the stressful part, or for the evening is over. Then the people go for the canapes, where we also make music, and that's where, you know, you just have a prescribed playlist or a preferred playlist type of music they play. And then our work really starts after the speeches are over. You know, that's when for us, the easy part, in contrast to you guys, I mean, then for you, the pressure is off because, you know, all the pictures are taken. But for us, the actual work starts, and is when the dance floor is declared open. And that's where a dedicated DJ comes into play. And it's easy focused, and is his sole focus for the evening to ensure that everybody that's there, all the guests, despite age and language, have a good time. And that is what we constantly keep telling ourselves. The biggest compliment you can get at the end of the evening is not your sound was great. Yes, it should be great because we use very, very good equipment. But the most lovely comment we can get is an email or a WhatsApp or a Facebook listing saying, thank you, everybody had a great time. And that is our main focus. And you know, a friend that comes with a recommended Spotify or Apple playlist, however well intentioned, is that person really geared and skilled enough to read the dance floor, to see the change in dynamics, to read that, to preempt that, and as a result, play the right music that keeps the party going until however late the venue allows. So it's a combination of good equipment and a real focus on making sure that your client and their guests have the best possible time on the dance floor.
Harry, do you usually, being a professional DJ or in the industry for so long, do you usually consult with the clients? Do they give you a framework of songs that they like, or is it better to do songs that they don't like? How does it work?
It's such a great question, and it is. We've got to tread very lightly, and yet we have to. It is our professional duty to also sit with the client. That's why we have a consultation, a pre-wedding consultation, where we meet face to face. We love a guide, a list of artists and music that the clients or that the couple love. It's good to have that, and we are happy to. If they want to send us a list of songs that they think might be good for the evening. But the problem is if it gets too prescriptive, then and if we get told what to play, then the problem is, what if that music doesn't work? So there's a very fine line between obviously taking cognizance of the kind of music the clients would like to hear, and we play that. But underlying there is the very important factor that the client's personal music taste may not be the kind of music that makes their audience or their guests tick. So it is, however, so we don't play according to a fixed playlist. We have, a vast library of music, but the whole idea is to read a crowd saying, okay, this is the vibe that we've got going now. How do we continue going that? And also, how do we change that without killing the vibe on the floor? Because you've got language mix, you've got different age mixes. So sometimes you have to play a transitional song to actually take it into maybe a set for some, with some oldies. And that's the challenge. And I think that makes the difference between a good DJ who can easily take it from a set where you play top charts, top hit songs for the young people, and subtly fade it or transition it into a set with oldies, or with some, I don't know, some crazy music where people want to line dance, or there's always there's a place in every evening for something like that. It's just, you mustn't stretch it out longer than what it has its place. And a good DJ knows that, sees that, reads that, and can do that seamlessly. And sometimes you get a guest saying, we don't want to hear Afrikaans music. Well, that is almost impossible. If you're going to have Afrikaans guests, you're going to have to squeeze in a few songs. And if you can do that, and so it doesn't become irritating or frustrating for the people that doesn't like the Afrikaans music, that set actually comes and goes. You cater for the Afrikaans people before the other people, before they even notice their turn again. That's what we do, and I think we get that right. So that's the challenge. That's the fun part of it as well. That's the fun part of the evening.
Harry, there has been a trend. Obviously, you've now experienced it. That the bridal couple send a list or a request list to their friends. And they now all send in their favorite songs. But I mean, as you say, it is weird because it's not always dance music. The songs that I like is definitely not dance music, and that's my favorite songs. So how do you deal with the client? Because we're in the service industry. We're supposed to say the client is always right. How would you deal with something like that?
I think it's a very nice idea, because at least you get a list of music that represents the choice of your guests as well. So I think the idea behind it is not a bad one, and we do that. We make use of that often. We also take requests, for instance. We take on display. We're one of the very few DJ companies where the guests are allowed to approach the DJ bench, so to speak, and they can come and ask us for a song. And it can work very well, providing that you can manage it. You got to channel that properly and not them. But if we get a request for a song, they'll come and say, listen, can you play Piano Man? And I'll just say, listen, that's a great song, but it's not a dance song. So, hey, maybe a little bit later we'll play that. So you keep the guest happy. But in other words, even with requests, we tell the bridal couple that the onus is still on us to decide whether we are actually going to play that song or not. So, because the request can never kill the vibe and the dynamics that is currently on the dance floor. If the requested song can aid that dynamics on the floor, then we'll gladly play it, because interaction is good. I mean, if somebody hears a song playing that he or she requested, it will 99% of the time get them on the dance floor. So again, there's a fine line. And we always tell the bridal couple, please send us your list. Don't go out of your way to down. I mean, we've had instances, Shane, where they downloaded like 150 songs for us. I said, oh, you've made yourself so much work. We've got all this music. But by all means, send us a little list of your, of your favorites. And if your guests have requests, send them to us, and we'll most certainly keep it in the lineup and drag these songs in where applicable, if and when applicable. Yeah.
Harry, with us now not being able to do weddings,
Yes.
when on level 1 or on level 0, when we can go ahead again with weddings, I know you do other functions as well, but how long in advance does a couple have to book you guys?
How we work is, well, obviously the result of COVID, of Corona, has been that a lot of the weddings in the third quarter especially have been moved. We were able to successfully fit them into next year and move a few towards the end of the year. We can do Synergy Audio can do 2 weddings on a Saturday. I don't like to do more than 1 wedding. I prefer to have a single wedding on a Saturday or on a day, but we can safely accommodate, as far as personnel is concerned, as well as equipment is concerned, two weddings on a Saturday. We have bookings going into next year, September, October already. I think we have about 23 pre-booked weddings for next year. So it is always advisable to get in early. But there have been instances where we've had weddings pre-booked 3 weeks in advance and we just happen to have the day open still, but that's obviously risky. So, so the best is get in early, book the day, reserve the date. Obviously COVID, really nobody saw that coming, but as I said, we managed to get everything resolved and juggle the day, juggle the venues, etc. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's just important because we also advise everyone, especially anyone planning to get married in 2021, all of the suppliers, that includes us, like yourselves, the venues, are all under pressure for 2021 dates, because a lot of our 2020 weddings got moved to 2021. So everyone who's planning on a normal 2021 wedding are going to have to compete with all of this. So our advice is you need to start booking now if you're planning on getting married next year, because I think for us and as you the same. I mean, a lot of the favorite weekends are already booked, and similar things. So, or taken, So same thing. Harry, I think from your side, is there any general advice you'd like to give a newly engaged bride and groom? It doesn't need to be sound related, just anything general that you've picked up. I mean, I know you've been doing this for many years as well. So it's often nice to share those nuggets of gold wisdom with people that we don't often get the chance. So anything that you want to share?
Oh, that's a tough one. Or maybe not such a tough one. I think what I see often is I see a lot of stressed people, a lot of stressed brides, especially the bride, frantically, panicking. And what I hear very often is that the day comes and goes so quickly. And I think don't stress too much. Enjoy the planning leading up to the day. Leave the detail to your service providers. If you've got a renowned couple of photographers like yourself, or in a nice and a good venue, that leave it up to the people there to make sure that you have a good time. If you've booked our services, you can tick the DJ box. Don't worry about it any longer. We're going to have our consultation 2 weeks before the wedding. We'll run through all the logistics. Relax, enjoy, and the day is on top of you before you know it, and especially on the day. Leave it at your service providers, leave it to them to make good, and really enjoy. It's a special occasion. And I also tell the DJs every single time when we go out, guys, remember, this is not a 21st. This is not even a matric farewell, you know, in order of importance. This is a wedding. It is, make sure that you give these people your absolute best. Think, always look at the dance floor. Is it getting into you? Is it emptying out? Why? Rectify, play another song, keep this party going. They want to go home and say, oh, we had such a great time. And it's your responsibility. And I always want to press that on their heart to not just sit there, but to remember that this is a wedding, which is probably the most important function in anybody's life. So I think that's what we try to do.
Harry, we can concur with that, and we can actually also say that is always the feeling that we get when you guys are doing the wedding. Yeah. So we thank you so much for your time. Anyone can contact you. Synergy Audio will put your detail in the link below. We appreciate your time, and we cannot wait to do a live wedding. So it means pro or post COVID-19. Post COVID-19. Okay.
The feeling is awesome. Mutual, guys. Thanks for having me or having us. And again, we're also looking forward to seeing you guys on site again and rub shoulders and look after yourself. All the very best.
Thank you. Thank you. Regards to Sydney.
Will do.
Cheers.
Bye.
Okay. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Thank you very much, Harry. We appreciate it so much. Thanks for your time and for the tips, and we definitely agree with that tip at the end about relax and just trust your professional suppliers.
Yeah, that's why I think that's what we said in the beginning, and I mean he just carried on with it. Get the professionals involved so you can sit back, relax, and enjoy your own wedding. So from our side, thank you very much. Harry's details will be below as well as ours, and then if you're getting married, remember to get in contact with us and all your other suppliers as soon as possible. As we've mentioned numerous times before, 2021 is going to be a difficult year to find the right date and the right venue. And lastly, remember to subscribe to our channel. And when we get to 1,000 subscribers, we'll be giving away that Rieg AD family lifestyle or couple shoot to the value of 3,000 Rand. And all you have to do is just be a subscriber. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful evening.
See you tomorrow on day 2
of level 3.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye.